This is going to be the first of 3 videos on dividing. Today we're going to have a look at dividing large whole numbers primarily by single digits and double digits. Now, dividing does get harder as you go along. It's a topic really that you just have to sit down and learn. It is, even though it's quite basic, going to help you quite a bit as you move on, as you progress up the school, okay? So it's similar to multiplication, even though it's quite basic, it's something which is really going to help if you are quite competent at doing it. We're going to have a look at some examples, and I've split the left-hand side of the board as single digits, right as double digits. First of all, we'll have a look at single digits then, and the sum is going to be 531 divided by 3. Now, whenever you want to divide a large number by another number, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the bus stop method, okay? And the reason why is because if you think, if I did my 3 times table all the way till 531, I'd be there all day, okay? So I set up my bus stop method. The 3 goes on the outside, and the 531, the thing we're dividing, goes on the inside. Now, it's quite a basic process, and you just repeat it all the time. All you're going to do is consider one number at a time. Ask yourself 2 main questions. Does 3 go into this? Does 3 go into that? Are there any remainders? Okay, so we're going to work through the first one together. First one I'm going to look at, does 3 go into 5? Yes, it does. It goes in once. 3 ones are 3. I've got the number 5, so I've got 2 remainders. So what I do with that 2 remainder, I carry it across and I put it next to the 3. So I cross the 5 out. You don't have to do that, but it certainly, I think, helps me because I know that I've dealt with it. 3 goes into 5 once, carry the 2 remainders. This now becomes, does 3 go into 23? Okay, it's no longer just 3 on its own. Because I carry the 2, it becomes 23. 3 goes into 23, and I do my 3 times table. 7 whole times, that's 21. I want 23, so 2 remainder. Same thing again, I carry the 2 remainder across to my 1. That now becomes, does 3 go into 21? Yes, it goes into 21 perfectly 7 times. So the answer to 531 divided by 3 is 177. Next one then, 856 divided by 8. Same thing again, you bus stop. Does 8 go into 8? Yes, it does perfectly once. No remainder, so I don't bother carrying anything. Does 8 go into 5? No, it doesn't. So I put a 0 above, and I've highlighted it. You have to put the 0 above because it does contribute to the value of the actual answer. I didn't use any of my 5, so I carry all of it across. So that 5 joins the 6 and now becomes 56. Does 8 go into 56? And if you do your 8 times table, yes, it does 7 times. Now, with all of these, it's perfectly fine for you to write out that particular times table. So with the second one, if you're not very sure of your 8s, I'd write out on the side of my page my 8 times table, probably up to 8 times 10, and then you can use that as a support then for answering the actual question. Double digits, you treat it the same way. The only way that it's more difficult really is because of the fact that we don't learn our 32 times tables like we would our 3 times table or our 8 times table. Same thing again, 32 on the outside, 672 on the inside. Does 32 go into 6? No, it doesn't. So you put a 0 over the top, carry the 6. Now underneath you will have noticed in the orange box, what I've done, and I'd advise you to do strongly for this particular type of question when you're dividing by double digits, write out, say, the first 4 or 5 multiples for that particular times table. So I've written out the first 4 multiples of the 32 times table. Obviously, 32 is the first one, and then I'm just adding 32 every time to get the next one. So I'm going to use that now as a support. As I said, 32 doesn't go into 6, so I put a 0, I carry the 6 across to the 7. Does 32 go into 67? Yes, it does. Once, twice, that's 64, so 2 whole times. 64 to 67 is 3. So 2 whole times, and the difference between 64 and 67 is 3. I carry that across. This now becomes, does 32 go into 32? Obviously, yes, it does. It goes in once. So the answer to 672 divided by 32 equals 21. In summary then, anytime you're dividing, you want to be thinking bus stop method. Carry the remainders. That's where 90% of people go wrong if they do. Carry the remainders, and especially for when you're dividing by double digits, because you're not going to be really that familiar with them in your head, I'd advise you to write out, say, the first 5 numbers in that particular times table.